All right, so 582 is the value from the chart that we got. He only needs to borrow $190,000 because he has a $40,000 down payment. So that's why we have the 190 there. So when we multiply that through, what do we get as an answer? So we get $1,105.80. That is his monthly payment. And again, we got 190 because he wants a $230,000 house, but he has $40,000 as his down payment. So you take 230 and you subtract 40. So how much interest does he pay in total? We take his monthly payment, which is $1,105.80. Sorry about the ugly writing. And we multiply that by the number of payments that he makes. So he makes 12 payments a year, because there's 12 months in a year. That's a 12 times 25. So $331,740. That's what he's paid back to the bank in total. But that's not how much interest he paid, because we have to subtract his original amount that he borrowed. So we would subtract what? No, he didn't borrow 230. He borrowed 190. Okay, so we subtract 190, and what's the answer?
141,740.
141,000. So that is the total amount of interest paid, $141,740. Okay. Next slide. This one's reasonably straightforward. We just take the unpaid balance. In this case, in the first month, that would be $190,000. And we multiply that by the rate of interest as a decimal. He's paying 5% interest, so that would be times 0.05, and then we divide that by 12 months in a year. So in the first month, he pays $791.67 in interest. So he gives the bank $1,105. That's what we figured out on the previous slide. Every single month. In the first month, 791 of that goes into the bank's pocket. That's how much money they make off of Brock. And then the balance of that, the other $300 and so dollars, which is the difference between his monthly payment and this, that's what actually goes against his house. So that would be the other type of question I could ask you here. I'm not going to ask you to do the big chart that we worked out in previous classes. I'm not going to ask you to do that chart. This is just taking one step from that chart. So either figuring out what the first month's interest is going to be, $791, or you could go 1,105.80 minus 791.67, and that would give you his principal payment. I'm not going to read the question, but I just recorded me saying that. So we're going to use the tenants package policy, and you start by looking at what does she want, standard or comprehensive. So we know she wants comprehensive. We look at how much value she has, and that's $30,000. So it's going to be $226 would be her annual premium with a $500 deductible. I added a little wrinkle there because she wants a $200 deductible. So we have to change it just a little.
Multiply by 1.1, yes.
1.1, right? So 226. If she wanted a $500 deductible, that would be it. You'd be done. That's the answer. But because she wants a $200 deductible, we need to add on 10%. So we go times 1.1. And remember, if you're not comfortable with that, if you want to go times 0.1 and then add it after the fact, that's fine. They're both right. So we get a total value of $248.60, and that is the annual cost, annual premium with a $200 deductible. All right, so the important information in this paragraph is that he wants a standard policy. He wants a $500 deductible. He's in the city, and he's only going to get $195,000 in coverage. And that's because I'd already typed out the example with 230, but I'm going to say his house is worth less because the chart only goes up to 200,000. So I didn't want to retype the whole everything else. So I was being lazy. But that can happen. Your house value can drop. You know, after a few years, it might not be worth as much as you originally paid for it. So all this is then is we're going to go look at the chart. So let's get the old chart up here. So we know that he is Metro Standard, 195,000. So there's our amount right there, $678.
Wait, broad is standard?
Yes. It says standard right there.
Where?
$678
Where are you?
per
I'm so sorry.
year. For those of you that are looking at your charts that I handed out before, they are different charts in terms of, instead of saying standard, it says broad, and the numbers have been adjusted. So they do update these numbers and change them because insurance costs do change. If you looked at insurance rates from 50 years ago, you'd pay next to nothing compared to what you pay today. So this chart that we've got here is different than your chart in terms of the numbers. So I believe you said it was 860 on your chart. And this one is 678. But if you go by whatever's on your chart, okay? So tomorrow when you write the test, you'll get a chart, you go by that chart. So we go to the chart, male non-smoker, 30 years old. It's going to be 546. So it's 546 per thousand. He wants 200,000 of coverage divided by 1,000. Equals $1,092. Are we done?
No.
No, it's life insurance, so we need to add $75. And we do that before we figure out monthly premiums because it's an annual fee of $75. So that's going to give us 1,167. That's per year.
That's for term also, right? You got 75?
Sorry?
You got
Yes, for term as well. And now we want to know what his monthly premiums are going to be, so we multiply by 0.09. Don't divide by 12.
No?
So the answer is $105.03 per month. All right, so Brock has had this policy for 25 years. We got that by taking 55 and subtracting 30 because he was 30 when he got it. So the policy year is 25. So that's down here, right there. And the issue age, he was 30 when he got it. So we're using this column right here. So you go across and you see that his cash surrender value is $198 per thousand. So $198 per thousand. Again, your charts may be slightly different. Apparently your chart says 196. Go with whatever number you actually get on your chart. So, we multiply this through and we get the cash surrender value of $39,600. So if he cancels his policy at this point, he's going to get $39,600. Okay? Last question. So we get $1,287 from our chart because he's 55 years old. He is a male smoker and he wants $200,000 in insurance. So it's going to be in there. All right, so $2,574. Don't forget, girls, this is an insurance policy, so we need to add the $75 annual fee. And we get a final answer of $2,649 per year. Done.